Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Overnight Report. Taking a look at all the action that has happened in Asia, Europe, and we'll look at the pre-markets here in the United States. What I'm going to tell you, hey, the markets are moving post the Fed announcement. Yesterday, the FOMC came out. They raised rates by 0.25%. That was expected. What wasn't expected was the hawkish stance. They're going to raise rates, or projected to raise rates now, looking at their Fed dot plot, at least 3 times in 2017. So that's a new projection. There was an anticipation of maybe 2 more rate hikes in 2017. So they might be potentially getting more aggressive, thinking there's either inflation or growth on the forefront. With that being said, let's jump in. I'm going to take a look at the Asian markets, and I'm going to take a look at the European markets. This is going to help those of you that are traders and have aggressive portfolios. 20% of your portfolio is made up and exposed to potentially these areas of the world. For those of you that are more conservative and have a fixed income portfolio, the movements in these parts of the world are going to impact the yields on your fixed income products in your portfolio. So you got to keep an eye on this stuff. All right, so let's jump in. We're going to talk Asia. Japanese Nikkei added about 0.1%. Exporters were showing relative strength throughout the session, and that was amid a sharp drop against the yen, their currency versus the dollar. The dollar-yen pair was trading overnight at 118.50. These are levels that we haven't seen in years. Mitsubishi Motors, Yokohama Rubber, Mazda Motor, Toyota Motor, Nissan Motor, all gaining between 1.5% and 5.2%. You're starting to see that move in the dollar. It's impacting the exporters globally. EWJ is trading at $50.40. It's opening up a little bit lower this morning. This is the ETF that tracks Japanese stocks. The weekly options that are expiring in about 8 days are pricing the potential for this $50 ETF to be either up or down over the next 8 days, about 92 cents or about 1.8%. Hong Kong's Hang Seng ended up lower by 1.8%. All 50 of the components in the Hang Seng were in the red. Financials and property names, they lagged the most. China Construction Bank, China Life Insurance, as well as New Development, as well as Bank of China, all falling between 2.6% and 3.5%. Again, the strength in the dollar has impacted the yuan, which is the currency in China and utilized in Hong Kong. EWH is the ticker for the ETF that tracks the stocks in the Hang Seng here in the U.S. It's trading at right around $20 this morning. The monthly options are pricing in the potential for this underlying to be either up or down about 84 cents. That's about a 4% move for the next 3 weeks. Now, China's Shanghai Composite lost about 0.7%, and the dollar ran to an 8-year high against the yuan, however you want to pronounce it. The People's Bank of China came out and lowered their yuan fix from 6.9289 to 6.9028. A big drop off. The yuan is very weak. China Merchants Bank, Minsheng Bank all posted losses between 3.1% and 3.8%. We're going to watch exporters out of China as well, see if that picks up. India's Sensex did shed about 0.3%. The biggest loser on the Sensex was the Sun Pharma, down about 4.4%. We also saw Tata Motors, Dr. Reddy's Labs, and Hindustan Unilever all lost between 0.6% and 1.9%. You do see Axis Bank on the upside, 2.2%. That's what held up the Sensex. EPI is the ETF that tracks Indian stocks. It's trading at $20.14, lower than last night's close. The weekly options that are expiring in 8 days are pricing in a 3% move, either up or down, through next Friday. That's a 60-cent move, either up or down in EPI. Germany's DAX is open right now. It's trading up about 0.6%. You have financials showing leadership as well as some exporters. Deutsche Bank spiked about 4.4%, while Commerzbank is up about 2.2%. And that's in the face of the fact that the euro has dropped pretty significantly against the dollar. Exporters are also in the green, as I had noted. BMW, Volkswagen, Daimler, all up between 0.2% and 1.1%. That's what's holding up this market. EWG is the ETF that tracks these stocks in the DAX. It's trading at right around 25.90. The weekly options that are expiring in a week and a half are pricing in the potential for a 3.3% move either up or down in EWG. That's a 58-cent move that's being priced in, or range. The UK FTSE, higher by about 0.2%. Financials are showing strength. Barclays, RBS, Lloyds Banking, Standard Life, HSBC are all between 0.7% and 2.6%. Now, miners, though, have retreated. You're starting to see names like Rand Gold Resources, Rio Tinto, Anglo American, and BHP Billiton basically down about 3.1% across the board. There is weakness in precious metals and metals in general. We're going to watch this very closely, especially with the strength in the dollar. EWU tracks the FTSE stocks. It's trading at $30.98. The options are pricing in a 7% move either up or down. That's about $2.17 for EWU. Take a look at the French CAC. Climbed about 0.7% so far this session. You have financial names like BNP Paribas, Societe Generale, as well as Crédit Agricole leading the way. The three financials are up basically between 2.5% and 3.6% respectively. You are also seeing some strength in exporters like Renault and Peugeot. They're up about 1.3%. You do have some select consumer names like Danone, L'Oreal, all down before about 0.4% to 2.3%. That could be the weakness in the euro as well as in the yen and the yuan. There is a lot of trade that is done with these French consumer names in China and Japan, and with a little bit of weakness there, that is putting some pressure on those retail names. EWQ is the French ETF, trading at 24.28 right now. The monthly options that are expiring in the third week of December are pricing in a 7% potential range, either up or down, in this $24 stock. Italy continues to outperform all of its peers in Europe right now, gain of about 0.8%. There was a Reuters report that the Italian government stands ready to infuse about 15 billion euros into troubled banks. So there is a rescue plan there for the banks. So Banco Popular, BMPS, as well as UBI Banca, Unicredit, all up between 1.5% and 4.5%. EWI is trading up slightly at 23.62 or flat right now. The weekly options that are expiring next week are pricing in the potential for a 3% move in this $23 ETF. That's around 72 cents either up or down. Taking a look finally at the pre-markets here in the United States, right now you have the Dow Jones now in the green, up 10 at 19,776. You do have the Russell 2000 down $1.30 at 1356.40. You have the NASDAQ down 625 off of its worst levels of the overnight session and pre-market session at 49.25.75. And then finally, you have the S&P's 500. The E-mini futures are trading at 22.51 even, down $1. The story today is going to be the dollar. We're going to watch this very closely. The dollar index is up at 102.97, up 124. We're at levels that we haven't seen in years. So dollar strength is putting some pressure both globally and here in the United States. We'll keep an eye on that. Join us at 9:30 Eastern Time for What's Hot on the Open. Till then, have a great trading day. Take care.